Imagine this. You're standing in line at a coffee shop in Manhattan. You just checked your bank account, and a $20,000 bonus has landed. For a moment, everything changes. Your shoulders feel lighter. Your thoughts slow down. There's a quiet sense of control you didn't feel yesterday. You order your coffee without even looking at the price, because today, price doesn't matter. For a brief second, you feel rich. But then, something shifts. You notice the person next to you. Same line, same place, but a completely different world. He's wearing a watch that probably costs more than your car. No logos, no noise, just quiet confidence. He doesn't hesitate, doesn't check his balance, doesn't think twice. And suddenly, that $20,000 doesn't feel big anymore. Nothing changed in your bank account, but everything changed in your mind. Your sense of winning disappears, and you're left with a strange realization. You don't feel rich anymore. Why? Because wealth isn't just about how much you have. It's about how you compare. And comparison never ends. From the moment you're born, you enter a game you didn't choose. A game where the rules are never explained clearly. A game where the finish line keeps moving. You think you're chasing money, but what you're really chasing is position. Your brain doesn't measure wealth in absolute numbers. It measures it relative to others. If everyone around you earns less than you feel ahead. If they earn more, you feel behind, even if your life is objectively better than it was before. This is the invisible trap. You're not trying to be rich. You're trying to not feel poor compared to someone else. And that's a race you can never win. There's a reason this feeling never lasts. A reason every upgrade in your life fades faster than you expect. That reason is something psychologists call the hedonic treadmill. It means no matter what you achieve, your mind adjusts. You get a raise. For a few weeks, maybe months, it feels incredible. Then it becomes normal. You buy a new car. At first, it feels like a reward. Then it becomes just transportation. You move into a bigger house. At first, it feels like success. Then it becomes your baseline. And once something becomes normal, it loses its emotional impact. So what do? You chase the next upgrade, the next level, the next version of better. But every step forward resets the game because your expectations rise with your lifestyle, and expectations are expensive. Now add something even more powerful into the equation: social media. There was a time when your comparison circle was small. Your neighbors, your coworkers, your friends. Now, it's the entire world. Every time you open your phone, you see curated success, perfect vacations, luxury homes, early millionaires, people who seem to have figured everything out faster than you. And your brain doesn't filter it as edited reality. It accepts it as truth. So now, you're comparing your everyday life to someone else's best moments. And that creates a hidden cost, a psychological cost. You could call it a comparison tax. It drains your satisfaction. It makes your progress feel smaller than it actually is. Because no matter what you achieve, there's always someone who appears to be ahead. Most people live their lives attached to a number. They believe happiness lives somewhere in the future. I'll feel secure when I make $100,000. Then it becomes $200,000. Then $500,000. Then $1 million. But something strange happens. Every time you get closer, the number moves. Because the number was never the real goal. The feeling was. Security, freedom, respect, peace of mind. But numbers don't create those feelings automatically, because those feelings don't come from how much you have. They come from how much you believe is enough. Here's something most people don't talk about. There are people with millions of dollars who are constantly stressed, always chasing more, always worried about losing what they have. And there are people with far less who feel completely at peace, who sleep well, who enjoy their time, who don't feel the need to prove anything. The difference isn't the amount of money, it's their relationship with it. Real wealth is not accumulation, it's alignment. Alignment between your life and your expectations. The most dangerous situation a person can be in is having no definition of enough. Because without that definition, there is no finish line. No point where you can say, this is good, this is complete. So you keep pushing, keep upgrading, keep chasing. And no matter how far you go, it never feels complete. But the moment you define enough, everything starts to change. You stop chasing everything. You start choosing carefully. You stop spending to impress. You start spending with intention. And slowly, life becomes lighter. There's another illusion most people fall into. The idea that we trade time for money now so we can enjoy life later. But for many people, later never comes. Because as income increases, so do expenses, so do responsibilities, so does pressure. You don't just earn more, you build a life that requires more. And now, you can't slow down, because everything depends on you maintaining that level. So you keep going, working more, earning more, spending more. Without realizing, you're stuck in a loop, trading time for money to sustain a life that requires you to keep trading time. Real wealth looks different than most people imagine. It's not loud. It's not always visible. It doesn't need to prove anything. It shows up as control over your time, the ability to say no, the ability to walk away, the ability to live without constant pressure. And the surprising part is, this level of freedom doesn't always require extreme wealth. It requires clarity. It requires discipline. And most importantly, it requires knowing when enough is enough. So instead of looking at the person with the expensive watch, look at your own life, your time, your peace, your ability to choose how you spend your day. Because wealth is not what you display. It's what you protect. It's the stress you avoid, the unnecessary things you don't buy, the pressure you don't accept, the life you don't complicate. At the end of it all, the richest person is not the one who has the most. It's the one who needs the least. So the real question isn't how much you can earn. It's not how far you can climb. It's this: what is enough for you? And once you answer that honestly, you might realize you were closer to rich than you ever thought.